Okay. So let us now understand what are the databases and different things in databases. Okay. Let me just start with the databases. Okay. Databases. We have just now seen, right, why we are using database and what are the things in the database. So let me just tell you one thing. Why we are using this database means we are using some programming languages, right? We are using some programming languages. Examples of programming languages can be programming languages. It can be like, you can say Java, Python, any other language you can use. So it is a, just let me just make it as a program. It is a program. Okay. When you run a program, when your program runs, it will mainly work with data, right? Data in program called as variables. Okay. In program, the data is called as variables. We take the variables and we do some processing. We do some processing with the data. Okay. And finally, what we'll do, we'll just result out something. Okay. We'll take something from the user input. We'll just process the data and we'll give the output. This is how our program works. But why there is a need of database for this program? Because whenever it gives you result, it needs to store the result. It needs to store the result somewhere else. It needs to store the result. Let us say it needs to store the result here. It is called as database. Okay. Here the storage here is temporary storage. It is the storage here is temporary. Okay. As soon as the program completes, the data will go off. Okay. The variables will go off. But here the storage is permanent storage. The storage is permanent. So here the temporary storage, it is usually when the program runs, it uses RAM, right? It uses some RAM. Here it is hard disk, right? This is the need of database. Why there is a need means we are having our program running. Our program needs some data. The data it can take from direct user or it can take from the database. So to store the data permanently after processing the result, let us say I am having company. Let me just give you one example. Let me just give you one example here. Let us take a small example. We'll just change the color of the pen. Okay, let us take one example. Imagine I am having a website. Let us take example as Facebook website. Okay, Facebook. When I create my account here, when I give username and password and click login, the data is stored in the Facebook databases, right? Facebook DB means database. Facebook database will store my data. Whenever next time, whenever I log in the Facebook, it remembers me, right? When I log in now, it will go to the database and get my data and it will show my homepage with my photo and all these things. Okay. How this program or how this website is remembering my data? Does this program has already variables defined for my name, my username? No, right? It has not defined. We are getting the data from the database. In the same page, if someone else log in, will get with the same page, different data will come. Okay. It is contacting with the database. Okay. This is contacting with the database. This is how the database required, because your program will work only on the RAM. It is just a temporary storage. Which storage? Temporary. But the database is physical and permanent one. Okay. It's a physical and permanent storage here. So let us see what are the different kind of databases available. Okay. Let us see what are different kind of databases available. We'll just change the color here for once more and we'll be using this color. Okay. So different kind of databases. Usually there are two kinds of databases. There are two kind of databases. Okay. First one is called as RDBMS. RDBMS, known as Relational Database Management Systems. Known as Relational Database Management System. Okay. Known as Relational Database Management System. And second one is DBMS, Database Management System. They don't have the relational word. Okay. It is called a Database Management System. DB Management System. These are the different kind of database. They use SQL, or we call as table. They use tables. Okay. Here they use NoSQL, NoSQL, and they use documents. Okay. Right. Let us just add a new section here and we'll be seeing more things. Here in this section, let us see what are the different softwares for different types. What are different softwares? I told you, right? Database is exactly a software. Database is a software. So let us see different softwares. For SQL, or we can say RDBMS, the important software names are, first one is Oracle database, Oracle. Next one is MySQL, MySQL. Third one is SQL Server. Okay, these are the RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Okay, then other one is NoSQL. The examples are, first one is MongoDB. Second one is Cassandra, MariaDB. These are the different kinds of softwares which use SQL and NoSQL. So let us understand what is the major difference between SQL and non-SQL. When we say we use RDBMS, RDBMS means we are using relational database management systems. So in this relational database management system, what is the important thing is we are going to use relationship, means all the data is stored in the form of tables. Okay, all the data is stored in the form of tables. Okay, we can have different table, and we can have one more, like let us take one more table. Okay, let us take, it is the user table, it is the product table, it is the orders table. Okay, in RDBMS we have different tables. We are having different tables. अपने पास बहुत सारे tables रहते हैं. Next, if we understand how does a database look like, we have told, right, database is a software. So let me just show you how it works and how it looks. Usually I told, right, database, it's a software, right? So what are the things we get with the software? We get two things. When we install database software, right, any database software, कोई भी database software जब हम install करते हैं, we get two things. We get one thing called client and one thing called server. We got these two things always. Either it will be SQL Server, either it will be MongoDB, and all these things. We get two important things. First one is client we get. Second one is server we get. Okay, what is the difference between client and server? Let me just show you in a diagram. So client means it can be a command line or a GUI. It can be a command line interface or a graphical user interface. Okay, the command line means a black and white window you will get. Command prompt. Here you can see different example of GUI is PHP myadmin. Next one more GUI is MySQL workbench, MySQL workbench. We are getting different GUI examples. So here, and this is client, and we'll get a server. We'll get a server. Okay. We'll get a database this way. This is called as server. What it is server contains? सर्वर में क्या रहता है? सर्वर में छोटे छोटे डेटाबेसेस रहते हैं. Okay, one server has many small databases. I just write db1, db2, and imagine I am working on some project. Imagine, we are working on making a shop. Okay, we are making a shop. So we create one database for the shop. I create one database for the, okay, you are the shop database. Now, a second time on another day, I am working on a restaurant website. So I will create one more database called restaurant. Okay, we create different website, different databases. Our server has different databases. This is the physical storage. I told you, right? Physical permanent storage. Okay, this is the physical permanent storage. So this is the how our database software is designed. Whenever you install any database software, you will get two things. First is client, next is server. Physically, all the data is present in the server, but client is used to interact. हम डायरेक्टली ये नहीं बोल सकते कि मैं यहाँ पर डेटाबेस क्रिएट करूंगा. वी कैन नॉट डायरेक्टली टच दिस. वी नेवर टच दिस सर्वर. वी कैन नॉट टच दिस. हम इसे छू नहीं सकते. इसे छूना है मतलब इससे कुछ भी काम लेना है मतलब वी नीड टू हैव either we need to use command line or we need to use GUI. Let me just create one more section. How it works. Now let us see working. I'll just write the working of it. Okay, first we have, let us take a command line. Command line here. Okay, next let me just create this is my total is server. Okay, usually in any case I will not directly interact with the server. This server is secured. No one can directly interact with it. इससे डायरेक्टली मिलना मुश्किल है. सो इससे मिलने के लिए हमें क्या चाहिए? हमें चाहिए कमांड लाइन. We need command line. So in command line you can issue commands in the language of SQL. कौन सी भाषा में इसको लैंग्वेज चाहिए? SQL में चाहिए. यहां पर रहता है SQL engine. There will be an SQL engine here. SQL engine. Before this there will be an SQL engine, and this is the physical storage directly. So whenever you want to interact with the server, you need to use either command line, either GUI. कोई भी एक तरीका यूज करना है और वहां से हमें कमांड इश्यू करने हैं. द कमांड्स वी नीड टू इश्यू हियर and it will be directly given to the SQL engine, and SQL engine will create the things. It will give you the result back. Okay, this is a flow process. ऐसा काम करता है. कैसे काम करता है? पहले हमें एक कमांड लाइन इंटरफेस चाहिए. कमांड लाइन इंटरफेस से हमें SQL कमांड्स इश्यू करने हैं. वो SQL कमांड्स कहाँ जाएंगे? SQL इंजन के पास. SQL इंजन उन्हें प्रोसेस करेगा और डेटाबेस सर्वर को बोलेगा कि भाई इसने ये मांगा है, ये काम कर दे. जैसे उसने बोला क्रिएट डेटाबेस बना दे, और डेटाबेस बनाने के बोलेगा ओके डेटाबेस क्रिएटेड, रिजल्ट हमें वापस मिलेगा. वी विल बी ओनली इंटरेक्टिंग विद दिस कमांड लाइन और विल द GUI. वी नेवर टच दिस. दिस इज, यू कैन से इट इज डेंजर. वी नेवर यूज दिस. दिस इज द हाईली सिक्योर्ड एरिया. नो डायरेक्ट इंटरफेक्शन. Okay, so this is the working of the SQL and how the SQL works with the node database and all these things. So now from the next video we are going to see how the things will work in the real time. We'll be utilizing the installation and doing the practical things. This is the understanding of the MySQL and all these things.